Hello again everyone, welcome back to Behind the Block. Today we're going to show you how to make these stunning beef and peppercorn Wellingtons. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched and commented on the previous videos. Gained quite a few new subscribers, so thanks again to everyone that subscribed. This video was requested by a new subscriber, Paul I think his name was. So special thanks to Paul. More than happy to show how we make these. So please enjoy the video. So the first thing for you to decide is what variety of Wellington you're going to make. I'm going to do a really basic one, but it's probably our most popular one that we do here. It's just a beef steak and peppercorn. So you're going to need about 200 grams of filling per Wellington that you're going to make. What I've got here for the beef is just some steak offcuts. There's some little bits of ribeye that haven't quite sold or aren't looking their best, a little bit of sirloin, little ends of fillets. You could buy fillet tails if you're doing this at home, if you're working in a butcher's shop using any of your steak trimmings. This is a little bit more specialist. This is a peppercorn sauce that has been sort of solidified with gelatin. So when it's kept cold, it's actually quite solid, but as you cook that, it melts. So that's how we get the peppercorn sauce inside the Wellington. So we're going to need those things and some pastry. I've just got some bought-in puff pastry, just for convenience. Yeah, that's a 2.5 kilo roll, but I've used some of it. So just get whatever size that you need. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to make these. So we're going to strip this steak up into small pieces. Of course, you can do that by hand. But I've got a very convenient machine that will do it for me. So I'll just shred all of this into nice thin pieces. So there we've got the steak shredded up into small pieces. Okay, so now we've got that steak shredded, we can set that to one side. One ingredient I forgot to mention, this is just a rapeseed oil that's seasoned with cracked black pepper and sea salt. I'll need that just to glaze the pastry once it's finished. So I'll set all of those pieces to one side and we'll work on cutting out our pastry squares that we need. I like to just unroll this pastry, just like so. And believe it or not, cut out a template, which is a 5-inch square. And all I need to do for each of these Wellingtons is to trace around that 5-inch square, and that is going to be our beef Wellington. Okay, so we've got our pastry squares cut. Next thing I like to do is to cut a couple of slices of this peppercorn sauce. Again, if you're doing this at home, you could just serve this with a peppercorn sauce. It doesn't need to go on the inside. If you're in the industry, you'll be able to find these from one of your sundry companies, I'm sure. So we lay out a couple of slices of peppercorn sauce. I'm going to take a little bit of this oil, this salt and pepper oil, just drizzle it into the steak, and that'll just season the meat up a little bit. And like I said before, you're looking for about 200 grams per portion. And I make over 100 of these a week, so I know that's about that. But you can adjust, you don't have to do such quantity. And as I was saying, there's so many different flavors you could do here. We do a fair few here in the shop. We do beef steak, Stilton wild mushroom. We do steak, black pudding and caramelized onion. We do chicken Wellingtons with garlic sauce, mozzarella. We do Philly cheesesteak, beef Wellingtons, all sorts you can do. So, you know, don't be limited by what you just see in here. So that's those, ready to go. I'm just gonna go and wash my hands. We'll get to crimping and decorating these Wellingtons. Okay, so I'm gonna try and crimp this. I'm gonna turn my body at an angle, so hopefully you can see exactly what I'm doing. But it's very easy. Sometimes you can get lucky with the pastry, sometimes it can be unlucky, just depends. All you need to do is pinch up the corners, opposite corners, and then these two opposite corners into sort of a, well, sort of a pyramid shape, and then just give that a few turns, just like so. And then I'll try and do this so you can see. Just use these two fingers to pinch the pastry together. I think I've got lucky with this one because it seems to be sticking together. Sometimes you'll need to use just a drop of water just to stick the pastry ends together. So you can see I'm just pinching those together. These are so well filled. Sometimes you have to juggle things about and go back over. But as soon as you get these crimped and decorated, once you put them in the fridge, they're going to set in that position. So, yeah. That's them sealed together. Now to decorate them, I just like to crimp them. Just to use these two fingers, and you sort of push and pull in opposite directions. Just as many as you can fit down the ridge. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And then finally, I'm going to take this oil, and this gets brushed on. I know you can't quite see that on that side. I'll try and do it back to front. This gets brushed on. It acts almost like an egg wash. So you don't need to egg wash these before you put them in the oven. It's already got the fat on there, so just brush that all over. And that's that ready. All that I like to do is to finish it with a few mixed herbs, and that's ready to go. And recommended cooking times, or the instructions that I give anyway, are to preheat your oven with a baking tray in there, so the baking tray gets hot. That way when you put this onto the baking tray, it's going to help cook the underside, and they'll just take about 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. So there we go. That is how you make these beef Wellingtons. Thank you once again to Paul, I think it was, for the request on the video. I'm more than happy to do anything like that. It's not a problem at all. And thanks again to everyone that has been watching. I know we're a very small channel at the moment, but we're going to persevere. Hopefully we'll get better as we make more videos. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. That is how to make the beef and peppercorn Wellingtons. See you in the next video.